Thokozani, please say hi as you come on. Let me see who's around. Hello, Thokozani, Thokozani. Thokoza, Pilisi. How are you? Thokozani, guys. I'm sorry, Latising is cut. I just had to jump on because your 11 p.m. is late, ne? So I cancelled a few things so I could come on. Zakaria, how are you? Heteru, how are you? Ninjani, how's everyone doing? Ninjani, it's been a while. I know, it's been a while, but yeah, it's been hectic. But glad to be here with you guys. Let's see who else shows up. So was a Granny. Oh, Granny celebrated New Year in September. I don't celebrate the Gregorian New Year. So, ngiyabonga though, I understand the sentiment. I know it's from a good place, but Granny, Granny akekho lapho. Granny does not do white people things. Mandisa, Mama Ropeng, it's Pearl, Mama Ropeng. Asukozini siyaphila, we're happy. New moon, yes, it's a powerful new moon. It is a 1-1 new moon, and if you are interested in anything about numerology, I would encourage you to look it up, but I will give you a brief of what this new moon in Nebt-Het means. Chamagu, Pagama, how are you? Chamagu. Nice to see you guys. Siyabonga. Lesiba, G. Earl, how are you? Just gonna greet everybody while see how many people we get. If we get to 50, we'll get started. This might be a long one, but that's what happens when you stay away for too long. And I'm not even supposed to be here. But, guys, I needed to come. So if this sounds like if it sounds like I'm being harsh, it's because it is necessary and it is that time. So no, I'm well, G. Thank you. Sibabalwe, my usuals. Baba, Tsepo, Uchepo. Yes, what it's Tsepo, Benjelute. It's Chepo. Chepang, Togoza. Ntombi futhi, Togoza, Ngwane, wakasangweni lo. Nice to see you guys. Memela, Ninjani. Yeah, we're almost at 50 and then we'll get started. I wish there was a way I could hear your stories and you could tell me what's been going on with you. But nizobhala kuma comments. You can write it in the comments. Tell me all about it. When I start teaching, I probably won't read comments. Neither am I going to answer any questions. It's so long overdue. I know. I actually, the intention was to shut this page down, but the cry was too much. So I decided, you know what, I won't. And so every now and then I'll come. Where am I broadcasting from? I'm broadcasting from Mother Earth. I'm a global child. I'm a global citizen. I own the entire world. So yeah, you're wondering where I am, probably because you saw the video I posted when I was at an ocean. And so, yeah, it gets confusing. I know. That's beautiful, Mandisa. May the new moon bring peace and light to everyone. Siyathokoza. Thank you for the well wishes. All right. everybody can hear me, right? Because I have one of my little ones vacuuming outside. And that's why I didn't come at 7, because I thought she'd be done, but she's not done. And I'm not going to stop her because I like people who help out with house chores. As long as you can hear me, this is great. So let's take a look first at this new moon. Deborah says from Earth, anyway. Listen, what can I say? Yeah. Coco, please don't shut it down. Shona Coco, we love these sessions. You guys. Yo, I've been Tadizinto. You like things. But you know what? I don't know that I could survive without you guys either, because I absolutely love coming here, you know. And when I see like the regulars coming on, it's like, you know what? I'm home. So it's not going to shut down, guys. It's not. That was a Barbara directive. And as you know, Barbara has ceased to exist in many ways. So so guys, I wanted us to talk about first and foremost this new moon that we are in, and then also talk about what opportunities this new moon brings in the season of Nebt-Het. Nebt-Het is uMvikelikazi. She's a protector. Nebt-Het Mosireletsi. That is the Sotho word for her, the Sotho name. Now, if you know the Kemetic story, and if you look at the two images of uNomkhubulwane, Auset, uNgwedi, and Nebt-Het, you'll see that they are exactly identical except for the headpiece, where Auset has the solar disk, uNomkhubulwane, and Nebt-Het has it looks like istulo or something that is straight. If you look at the pictures, you'll know what I'm talking about. Why is that? That's because really these two are sisters. And I look forward to the day where I actually do one on all the uMvikelikazi and show you how their various aspects are actually all aspects of the one. But for this purpose, Nebt-Het, uMvikelikazi, and Nomkhubulwane are actually sisters, right? And there's a reason why I want to bring that. So you have this powerful moon going on where we have the new moon, uNomkhubulwane, kind of showing up and gaining intensity for the next 2 weeks in the season of her twin sister. Now, as they are twins, they are also kind of polar opposites. Meaning this, Nebt-Het rules physicality. What does that mean? Anything that you see manifest physical. You're seeing me, you see yourself, you see trees, you see animals. That is a manifestation of the energy of Nebt-Het, because Nebt-Het is who creates the body in the spiritual realm before it is projected out into the physical realm. Her sister Nomkhubulwane, on the other hand, represents spirituality and ascension. Why? Because we know that the body, the physical body, is dense and heavy, right? This is why when we do spiritual work, or you want to do ascension work and you want to hear your spirit guides more, or you want to connect more, you do fasting, you eat light. Why? To make this dense body lighter so it doesn't weigh down your spirit. Does this make sense? Because uNomkhubulwane is sort of ascension. And Nebt-Het, because this is a grosser form, a denser form of matter, she is the descending energy. there's a whole science to this that I really don't want to go into right now, because that is not the purpose of this life. The purpose of this life is to look at these two energies or principles working together or in conjunction currently at a 1-1 portal. What does that mean? This means that when it comes to manifestation of the physical things that you may desire, this is a perfect time for it. Because you have the magic and the manifestation support of uNomkhubulwane, the master magician. And you also have, in this period, you have her sister Nebt-Het, who represents physicality. So anything that you're manifesting now for the next 2 weeks and manifesting and focusing on now, its outline, if you like, is going to be created already by Nebt-Het, through Nebt-Het in the spiritual realm, and then it'll be pushed out into the physical realm. Now, we have a problem when it comes to manifestation, I think, because there are a few things that I want to help you to tweak when it comes to manifesting, so that if it clicks, you will have amazing results from your manifestations. Number one, there are a lot of people who don't understand the aspect of energy and frequency. When I say that you are low vibrational, when I say you're vibrating low, what does that actually mean? When I say you're high vibrational, you're vibrating at a higher frequency, what does that mean? Why is this important? Because for manifestation to happen, you have to consistently and continuously vibrate at a high frequency. So we have problems, Tina Bagwantu, which is why we get frustrated when we manifest or we do rituals for manifesting things and it still doesn't work. But there are a few things that you need to understand about manifestation so that you get it right. Number one, understand that the cosmos, the universe, the Neteru, these principles are conscious. They are conscious, meaning to say they hear, they see, they feel. The same way you do, because you're made up of these same principles and energies. In isiZulu, we might even call them amadlozi womhlaba. Amadlozi awakhanda umhlaba wonke. Angithi, to make it simple. So just as you know your own lineage ancestors, mawuphahla a certain way, they hear you and they respond, so too do these energies and principles hear you and understand. However, here's a caveat. When you are manifesting something, the cosmos won't differentiate between whether what you're saying is negative or positive. The universe will believe, if you like, or will replicate and amplify that which you are putting out. If you're vibrating low, what does that look like? Jealousy. I need to talk about this. Jealousy, anger, unforgiveness, maliciousness, deception, manipulation. All those emotions and actions cause you to be very low vibrational. These are not spiritual or ascension aspects of the spirit or spirit being, which is who inhabits this your physical body. So if you find yourself in that state, you can do as many manifestation rituals as you like. You can picture and envision as much as you like. But if your vibrational frequency is low and you're stuck in negativity, you will manifest negativity. Meaning to say, you're almost cutting your nose to spite your face, because here you are manifesting, envisioning these things you want, but the energy that you embody is so toxic, you're canceling out everything you're doing. You may as well not have bothered. Many of you have been on this page for quite a while. And I've given tools for working with some of these negative emotions. Because one thing that I've always said is emotions are neither good or bad in and of themselves. They are there to serve a purpose. If you feel jealous of someone, the question should be, what is it about me that is causing me to feel jealous or envious? That is the first question you should be asking yourself. That is the conversation starter for yourself. The problem that we have, and this problem comes from religion, is that we externalize our negative emotions, meaning to say we project outward instead of going inward to introspect. And the result of that, going outward, is what causes you to do harm when you're jealous, to slander, to gossip, to be mean, to say hurtful things when you're angry, to manipulate situations, to lie. You do these things because you are in the habit of seeking what is outside of yourself instead of using what goes on inside you to look at yourself. You go outward. So now the subject or the object, in fact, let's say the subject of your jealousy or your envy becomes your enemy. Meanwhile, your enemy is yourself. Your jealousy is a you problem. Your insecurities are a you problem. Your husband or your boyfriend has female colleagues at work. You're all up in your feelings. You're feeling jealous. That should have you sit down to ask what it is, what's going on with me. Not for you to go out and lash out at your poor husband, which is better than worse, lashing out at a woman who has no clue what it is she's done wrong. But here's the problem. She is a mirror unto yourself of the things you feel inadequate about. She may be confident. She may be strong. She may be educated, right? She may have a certain level of independence that you don't have because you're married, you've got a family, you've got kids. This one, she's single, she's out there doing her thing, she's always happy. But that's her. And your problem is you have issues inside of you you're not dealing with. So instead of dealing with those, you project outward. What it is I always say about wounds? Please heal your wounds, because you will bleed on those who had no hand in your wounding. So many of us are stuck in that because, you see, God was externalized, right? God was externalized, and then God came with a whole set of rules. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt. I'm a jealous God, I'm a vengeful God. They gave you heaven and hell so that you're in constant, perpetual fear. And then they gave you this model of perfection that doesn't exist. So what happens is when you feel certain emotions, instead of seeing these emotions as the bing, 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 radar, radar, danger sign, you need to go inward, you're misaligned. What do? You're ashamed of these feelings. You try to repress them. You try to hide them. And anything you try to repress and hide is going to come out and it's going to hurt someone. Most cases, somebody who had nothing to do with your wounding. Spirituality is actually much, much difficult, I say, than religion, because in religion, quite honestly, we're seeing them now. What is it that T.D. Jakes is saying? He's saying, even if I did do it, I know the blood's going to wash me clean. I know I'm covered by the blood. Illusion and lies. So if you're in that boat of lying to yourself, if you're in that boat of thinking that you can do all kinds of mess and then go and kneel in a confessional and confess your sins and you will be absolved, I'm here to tell you that that is absolute nonsense. There is no such thing. And there is no mvana that got slaughtered for you and so that your sins may be forgiven. And there is no external deity that is waiting there with a shambok to whip you into line. Nonsense. What there is, though, is within you, is the universal law of Ma'at and its different statutes. This is why Mandulo, there were no jails. Because everybody had a system of self-policing. This is the same thing. Self-police your emotions that are getting in the way of your manifestation work. I'm telling you, if you don't do that work, you're going to find yourself in the same spot this time next year. And many of you are finding yourself this year, this time, at the same spot you were in 2023 and in 2022 and in 2021 and so on. And the longer you stay stuck, the more bitter you become, the meaner you become, the more resentful you become, the more hateful you become. Because what you're doing is you're looking around at everybody else and getting triggered. Anything that triggers you is showing you where you need to heal. I know somebody right now who's going around in a loop like this. 1 minute she'll say, I've forgiven everybody who did anything to me and blah, blah, blah. For a whole year, last year, she was talking about the same thing. 2024, she's talking about the same thing, about the people who did her wrong. Victim mentality. You can tell that this is somebody who does absolutely no introspection about whether she is actually in this position she's in, is receiving karma for all the terrible things she did and said about people. So if you're on this and you're sitting and you know that you have wronged somebody, you know that you're jealous. And you can be in denial all you want. I'm just here to help you out. The problem and where I get upset is when your jealousy, your inadequacies, your insecurities are hurting other people. That is not Ubuntu. And one of the reasons we will not ever, you see, it also goes this way. You're trying to manifest things for yourself, for your family, or whatever on an individual level. There is a problem there too. If ungumuntu like me, if you're melanated like me, you have a serious problem. Because if in your manifestation you're not also looking out towards what the collective desires are, what the collective needs are, you're going to be shortchanged. And you're not going to achieve that. Because remember, Nebt-Het, Auset, Ma'at, Jehuti, Sekhmet, these are the principles that created everything on this earth. So if you somehow are in this individualistic mode of thinking of I, me, and myself, don't be surprised when you try to use uNomkhubulwane's magic, when you try to use Nebt-Het's protection and nothing doing. What are you going to do for your community? What are you going to do for abantu? You want to manifest money? Good. Where are you going to spend your money? You're going to go and spend your money with the people who stole from you in the first place. Now they're stealing from you twice, thrice, 4 times. What about your sister or your brother who has a small business? Why aren't you putting your money there in the community and see what happens? You happen to have surplus. Doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes there is a lot of abundance. You have surplus in terms of money. There's ugogo who lives next door or 2 houses down. You know that ugogo's daughter or son died and left ugogo with small children. You see them walking around sometimes with no clothes. Sometimes you can tell these kids are hungry, they're malnourished. What prevents you when you do your groceries to do a little bit of groceries and pass by ugogo and say, Gogo, guess what? I thought of you this month. Here's something for you and the kids. Ubuntu. So if you're trying to manifest and you are in this frame of mind of myself, 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 number one, you're not spiritual, because if you're spiritual, you would understand that umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. If you don't get that, well, I don't know what to say. If you don't understand that your individual success has to add value to the collective success, I don't know what to tell you. If you're so greedy that whatever you get, you hold on to like this, well, guess what you've just done? You've just closed your hand for any more to come in. The Karanga say, "Wazgaizozo," meaning that which you have eaten. But when you do this and you share, you allow for room for more to come in. Kindred, we have lost Ubuntu. We have lost Ubuntu. It has become this abstract concept that we just say, Ubuntu, akanabuntu. When unabo Ubuntu, do you have Ubuntu? Ubuntu says respect the old and the young. Ubuntu says show hospitality to the stranger. Now, mind you, it got us into trouble with those other creatures, but then amongst ourselves even, we don't show Ubuntu. How many people will take their money and go down the road to the Pakistani spaza? But you won't go to the spaza run by a Zimbabwean because makwerekwere, because whatever. But you go to a Pakistani and spend your money. Ubuntu lo. Is that community building? Is that building unity? See, I wanted to show you guys the pitfalls to your manifestation rituals and why you do manifestation work and it doesn't. You're not right. You're not in harmony. You don't bring harmony and peace where you go. Everywhere you go is drama. Everywhere you go, there are tears. Everywhere you go, there is no peace. You are not in my art. So now if you're not in my art, Nebt-Het, uyabheka. Nomkhubulwane, uyabheka. Have at it. You can't expect to receive if you're not giving. If you're not giving to the cosmos, if you're not giving to your community, how dare you expect to receive from the universe, from these very amadlozi? Make it make sense. It is so sickening to see how people are moving out there. 111 in terms of numbers. There we go. There's the portal by Vumindabale. It is so sickening to see how we do each other down. How many people here are in the service industry? By service, I don't necessarily mean like in the food industry and so on, but I mean service as in community service. Like me, I'm a healer, I'm a teacher. This is community service. There are others. Lately on social media, some of the horrible things that people will do and say to those who have been sent to assist you, Bagwantu, it's a shame. And for many people, it's not even a choice. Nobody wakes up and says, you know what? I want to go to help those people who will be throwing names at me, who will be criticizing me, who will be talking about me behind my back, who have no respect for my practice, for who I am, who have no respect for the ancestors that have gifted me this work. But every day, we have to show up. Because that's what we're called to do. Do you ever sit and think about your healers, your teachers, and what it is they go through? Do you ever sit to think, you know, Mkulu so-and-so, I wonder what doing this is like for him? Because it looks like many of you are so caught up in your own thing. And many of you, sad to say, are looking at your healers and your teachers from the perspective of what can I get out of them. But how many of you have ever thought of doing something for your healer, even if ugumpathela? Doesn't have to be material. Just to send positive energy, just to think of them in a positive way, to encourage them, to send a note to say, you know, Mkulu, I see you. Thank you. But you're good at just receiving and taking. And sometimes without a thank you. That is not Ubuntu. It isn't Ubuntu. Worse still is when you plot in secret for the downfall of somebody who has been sent to assist you. Just because, number one, you're jealous and you ask yourself, why them and not you? Let me tell you something. For a lot of people you see out there, you couldn't walk half a centimeter in their shoes. Mind you, those shoes, you couldn't. And yet somehow you think it's okay to do them down. It's okay to disrespect them. Where am I going with this? These are the things that will stop your manifestations happening. You will wish and try to manifest this house till kingdom come. It won't happen. And true to form, what you're going to do, start looking around at who, oh, bang tagat, bang twebulela mandla wami, bang thathela isipho sami, but you fail to remember the things that come out of your mouth, out of the rottenness of your heart. You're not going to go far. You see, spirituality, like I said, You can't fake it. You know how we know who's spiritual and who's not? Your actions. Your actions. So you can put your sipika and carry that holy book of yours, as you guys call it, holy, and march around. We'll know that abathakathi abakhulu bahleli kuphi emasontweni. Angithi? But you wouldn't know it for seeing them. Let one of their kids say, oh, I'm dreaming water, I'm dreaming snakes. They're the first to say, unamadimoni. Why? Because they don't want a healer to come up in the family who's going to start seeing and exposing them for who they are. Guess what? We're in the season of exposure. If you're not aware that we're in the season of exposure, get ready. We are. I'm telling you that right now. And there will be no stone left unturned. Y'all are sitting there and you're watching what's happening with TB Joshua. He's gone, but hey, see umoya unjalo even after you're gone, because umoya knows umoya wakho uyaphila somewhere. You will watch from wherever you've gone or transitioned to and watch your name. And it's not being dragged in the mud because it was already in the mud, but now it's being exposed. TD Jakes, we're seeing P. Diddy. We're seeing pictures of all kinds of people doing all kinds of nasty, compromising things. And they thought they were hidden. This is the age of Ma'at. And whether we like it or not, Ma'at is going to straighten us out. She's already on it. So if you're sitting and you're looking at all this, and because I want to like drama, you're distracting yourselves, watching all this and going, ziyakhala manje. Now who is your khala? No one is spared. There are no holy cows in this one. Because what you don't realize, this is an energy. This is a frequency. Ivunguza yonke into yapetula yonke. So no matter how you think mine is small and hidden and your TB, well, no. The exposure will be proportionate to what it is you're hiding. But trust and believe anything you're hiding, including what is in your heart, is going to be exposed. There are people who are showing themselves for who they are without even realizing it. Like I said, TD Jakes made a confession without realizing he was confessing when he said, even if I did do it, there is no sin that is not covered by the blood. Right? Gave himself away. Gave himself away. There is no sin that isn't covered by the blood. Well, the blood ain't covering shit right now. Tell your Christian friends. Tell your Christian friends that the blood, look like the blood ain't working anymore in this season. This energy, this frequency, guys, is working on so many different levels. You know that Umlungu has been trying to unalive us for the longest time, ne? You know that they have viruses and bacteria that they crafted in the 40s. Why do you think that last one, Ega 2020, didn't do what it was supposed to do in Africa? Because it was created during a different energetic frequency, during a different age. When the age switched and the energies changed and we came under this new constellation that they call Aquarius, it rendered all that other stuff dead. So the massacre that was supposed to happen on the continent in Brazil, wherever melanated people are, didn't happen. Guess what happened instead? It decimated them. Umoya. Ngiyavuma umoya. Ngiyavuma. Hayi mina ngiyavuma. So I want you to understand our spirituality and understand that we are all governed by these energies and principles. How you get yourself into balance is by introspecting and doing the necessary to align yourself with Ma'at. You're not doing this for show. Nobody cares right now. We're all engaged in our own salvation, so to speak. You're doing this for you to be in alignment, so that this 2024 Gregorian nonsense that's just come in through this portal, you can then achieve the things that you're setting out for yourself, the things you want to achieve. But don't for a second fool yourself that if you are unhealed and you're causing pain and havoc and drama, you're going to achieve it. You won't, because you're going to get back what you're putting out. If you don't have peace, you will know no peace. If you're always causing pain, you will know untold pain. And currently, it be like this karma is instant, because there are people who are getting smacked in the face by spirit the minute they hurt someone. Check yourselves. Check yourselves. Don't shortchange yourself. You don't want to find yourself in this place next year. I'll tell you why. Because the season, if you like, that we're in is a season of great abundance if you are aligned. There are people who are going to make buckets of money. But I'm telling you now, it's going to be a test. Ungumuntu na. Where are you going to take your loads of money and spend it? What are you going to do with your loads of money when you get it to uplift another? These are all principles that to be umuntu, it's inside of us. It's deeply embedded in us. Because that is who we are. We are this way because of how we were created. Remember, we were created, we were not born. It's all those other creatures that then were born from us. It has to do with how we were created. That is why the family mirrors the cosmic bodies. Umvelinqangi, unomkhubulwane, ingane. Mother, father, child. Africans were the people who understood this, and that's how the first family, if you like, or the family structure was created. So we are very misaligned. Many of us are very lost because we continue to want to walk this spiritual path the way we did in Christianity. It's not going to work. It's not. Matter of fact, you're going to find yourself going through some shit that'll make you think, they were right. The blood of the lamb saves. I'm going back there. Meanwhile, there's nothing to go back to because it's all crumbling. A life of alignment. And I'm not saying that anyone... See, in African spirituality, no one is expected to be perfect. But you're always expected to be self-correcting, self-correcting, self-correcting. If you're seeing that you're going this way, self-correct. Because it's about balance. So that you can create harmony. You cannot create harmony if you're out of balance. You create a lot of havoc and disharmony when you're out of balance. So it is always this balance. You go this way, you self-correct. You make amends, you fix. You go that way, you self-correct. Remember, you are a spirit being in this human physical form to experience. Experience does not mean the good, the good, the good. Experience means the good, the bad, and the ugly. Question is, are you learning from it? Don't stay stuck in the pain. Don't stay stuck in the regrets. Don't, because then you're not learning anything. If you view everything that happens in your life as a lesson, you heal and you recover quicker, taking those lessons that you've learned from that past experience into the future. Some of us are here teaching from experience. Some of us have had to go through untold things so that we could sit here and share with you from a place of knowing. How do you know? Through experience. You're a spirit that came to experience using this house, this human form. And ultimately, to resolve back to your original form as spirit. How that whole thing happens is entirely up to you and whether you're learning your lessons as you go along. Instead of blaming other people for your shortcomings. Instead of refusing to take accountability where you know perfectly well you're wrong. Those are bad habits. And I understand, because the religion teaches judgmentalism. Oh, Lord, she's fornicating. Oh, my God, she's a fornicator. It's fab. Really? Like anyone has a mouth to talk. Where now? What are you behind closed doors? Spirituality doesn't judge, guys. Spirituality is a personal journey. You and self. Namadlos wagini, your lineage ancestors, and how you operate within community, which is the collective, and how this collective is then governed by these energies and principles. Simple. A community is only as healthy as its unhealthiest people. That's why we teach, that's why we talk, that's why we implore. Sometimes that's why we yell and scream. Because I know that no matter how well I do, doesn't mean anything if none of you all are doing well. Doesn't mean anything. Does not mean anything. Because I'm connected to each and every single one of you here. If you don't get that, we've got a problem. So, happy manifestation after all that. It's a mouthful. Save the video, come take notes, whatever you need, but please do the work. Please do the work. We need to get out of these cycles of pain within ourselves, which then results in adding to the collective pain and ukuhlukumezana and hurting other people. We got to get out of it, guys. We've got to start working our way out of it. And one of the messages I got when I went to the ocean was that the cleanup is here. And I think I've said this before, which is that heads are going to roll. Let yours not be one of those heads that are going to roll. Know who you are. Know where you stand. Within yourself, if there are areas that need work, work on them. Self-police. Because the inorganic creatures are going. And those who are not in alignment and are still within this matrix, are still within this dense form of energy and who are obsessed with physicality and what is in the physical, you're going to go along with them. Because for Abantu, that is an unnatural state of being. And those creatures are inorganic, as I call them. They are not natural. So anything that is not aligned with nature is going. And it was a sobering moment for me because I had to come to the acceptance that not everybody will make it. So, while you still have a window of opportunity to help yourself and cause a ripple effect in the people around you, because when you come right, people see the difference and people also are encouraged to come right. Yeah? Don't find yourself being on that side of the people who are called imidlwembe, the sellouts, the people who cause pain and hurt. Don't find yourself on that side. Because for umuntu, that is an unnatural state of being. So you will go with the other inorganic, unnatural creatures. Injalo. Akusho mina. Kusho uma leyo nto. So, on that note, I bid you farewell. You guys have yourselves a great, great 2024. But anyway, you know what I mean. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Let's fix ourselves. Let's fix our communities. There's so much joy in real, authentic unity, which is what we need. Yeah? So, on that note, I will love you and leave you and catch you on the next one. I don't know when that's going to be. Masithokozeni.